So this is session number 4 in module 4. So in this session, I will be discussing about the remaining normal forms. In the previous session, we discussed about set of functional dependencies, definition of functional dependencies, and 6 inference rules for functional dependencies, and the first normal form and the solution to the first normal form. So we have these topics for today's discussion: second normal form, third normal form, general definitions of second normal form and third normal form with the help of Lorentz relation, and then the additional normal form, that is BCNF, basic code. BCNF stands for basic code normal forms. Second normal form is based on the concept of functional dependencies and primary key. For a relation to be in second normal form, it should be in first normal form, and then we have to test the relation for second normal form. Any relation, so the normalization definition says that the relation should have to pass the series of tests to certify that it is satisfies certain normal forms. First, we will take the relation, check for first normal form. If there are no multi-valued attributes or relations within the relations, then we go and check for the second normal form. If the relation passes the second normal form, then we check for third normal form. And then we'll check the relation for basic code normal form. If the relation passes all the four normal forms, that is BCNF, third normal form, second normal form, and first normal form, we move on to check for the fourth normal form and then the fifth normal form. So the designer can be happy, and they can conclude that the relation is in good condition if it passes third normal form and the basic code normal form. So we all know the definition of functional dependency. It is determined by X determines Y. It is determined by X determines Y, where X is called as determinant and Y is called as dependent. X functionally determines Y. If X is a primary key, then the attributes, this primary key attribute can determine the rest of the attributes. For example, in the diagram, you can see here SSN and project number is a composite primary key. So since it is a primary key, it can determine hours, employee name, project name, and project location. If you consider employee department relation, in this one SSN is the primary key. By default, SSN determines rest of all the attributes in the relation. So that's about functional dependency. And then we have to discuss about the prime attribute. Prime attributes are the attributes which are part of a primary key. We may have composite primary key, right? In case if we have two attributes that corresponds to the primary key, then those attributes are called as prime attributes. And also if any of the candidate keys are available, then those are also called as prime attributes. As of now, if you consider an employee project relation, SSN and project number are the prime attributes, and other attributes are called as non-prime attributes. The non-prime attributes are hours, employee name, project name, and project location. Also, these keys are called as secondary keys. We have a primary key, that is SSN and project number. And I'm talking about the candidate keys. All the attributes that belongs to the candidate keys are also called as prime attributes. Let me take you to the Lorentz relation. So in Lorentz relation, we have two candidate keys. One is property ID and other is combination of county name and lot number. So now we have two candidate keys. Either any one of the key can be qualified as primary key. As of now, we have selected property ID as the primary key. Now the county name and lot number together can be called as primary key, but it can be it is a candidate key. So we are not selecting that one. So with respect to the Lorentz relation, the prime attributes are property ID, county name, and lot number. So to conclude, the prime attributes are the attributes that may be candidate keys or that are part of a primary key. That's it. And rest of the attributes are called as secondary keys. So that's about the prime attribute. Next, we have a full functional dependency concept. If we have a functional dependency X determines Z, then removal of any set of attributes Y from functional dependency does not determine Z. For example, I have a set of functional dependency attributes. If I remove any set of attributes Y from X set of attributes, does not functionally determine Z. That means if we try to remove any of the attributes in the left hand side, that is, now consider this part as X and this part as Y. If I remove the project number, then it is not possible to determine hours. In the same way, if I remove the SSN, then it is not possible to determine hours. That means hours is fully functionally dependent on the left hand side of the attribute. Okay, that's fully functional dependency. Next, we have partial dependency, partial functional dependency. A removal of any attribute from the X, still we can determine the Y attribute. So here, if I remove the project number also, I can determine E name. So E name, to conclude, I can say that E name is not a full functional dependency. It is called as partial dependency. SSN determines E name holds good. So that's why the project number is not at all required. In the diagram, here, E name is partially dependent on primary key. Project name is also partially dependent on primary key. Project location is also partially dependent on primary key. That is, to determine project location, I don't want SSN. To determine the project name, I don't want SSN. To determine the E name, I don't want project number. So here, some of the non-prime attributes are partially dependent on primary key. In the second normal form, we don't need to have partial dependency. We need to have only full functional dependencies. Now it's time to state the second normal form definition. A relation schema or a relation is in second normal form if every non-prime attribute A in R is fully functionally dependent on primary key attribute of R. In other words, it says that a relation schema R is in second normal form if it does not contain any partial dependencies. So if we have a partial dependencies, or if any of the functional dependencies are not fully functionally dependent, so the R can be decomposed into 2NF relations, the process of 2NF normalization. So here, employee project is the relation. We can check for first normal form. After that, we check for a second normal form. Here, FD2 violates this particular functional dependency, violates second normal form, and also FD3 violates second normal form. That means we have partial dependencies. In order to remove these things, so we are normalizing employee project to enough normalization. We are dividing or decomposing employee project into three relations, EP1, EP2, and EP3. In EP1, SSN and project number is made as the primary key because we require both the attributes to determine hours. And in EP2, SSN determines C name. The project number attribute is not required. That's why we have removed here. In EP3, we have only project number. The SSN, which is not required to determine project name and project location, we have removed. So now all the three relations are in second normal form. We don't have any partial dependencies here. So the test for 2NF involves testing for functional dependencies whose left hand side attributes are part of a primary key. If the primary key contains a single attribute, then the test need not be applied at all for second normal form. If the left hand side contains part of the primary key attribute, then only testing for second normal form is required. That means if you have a composite primary key, then the second normal form test needs to be applied at all. Okay, that's about the second normal form. Then we will move on to the third normal form. Third normal form is also based on the concept of transitive dependency. That is IR3. IR3 says that inference rules 3. If we have a functional dependency, X determines Y and Y determines Z, then we can determine additional functional dependency called as X determines Z. It's given here. A functional dependency X determines Z can be derived from two functional dependencies, X determines Y and Y determines Z. Now let's go to the diagram here. And this one. Yeah. Observe the second diagram, that is B. Normalizing employee department into 3NF relations. See, SSN determines department number, and then department number determines DMGR SSN. I'll write down here. SSN determines department number, and we have department number determines the manager number. DMGR SSN. So if we have these two set of functional dependency, I can write down as SSN determines DMGR SSN. Now I can say that DMGR SSN is transitively dependent on SSN. DMGR SSN is transitively dependent on SSN. So this third normal form requires no transitive dependency should be there in relation. Okay. SSN determines DMGR SSN is transitive functional dependency. So this can be determined using these two functional dependencies. And also SSN determines ename is non-transitive because we don't have any transitive dependency. SSN directly determines ename. So we are not using additional additional attributes to determine employee name. So and also SSN determines birth date is also a non-transitive dependency. So now let's go through the definition of third normal form. A relation schema is in third normal form. If it is in first normal form and in second normal form, then only we have to check for a third normal form. And no non-prime attribute A in R is transitively dependent on primary key. A relation schema R is in, once again, I'm going to state the third normal form definition. A relation schema R is in third normal form if it is in second normal form and all the non-prime attributes A in R is transitively dependent on primary key. No non-prime attribute A in R is transitively dependent on primary key. Let's go to the diagram. Here DMGR SSN is a non-prime attribute, but it is transitively dependent on primary key. So this should not be the case. We have to decompose the relation, that is employee department, into two relations, employee department 1 and employee department 2. So we're not losing any functional dependencies here. We have two relations. ED2 department number is made as a primary key, and here. So actually we are this is guidelines one. Do not mix the attributes from two entities into the single relation. So we are violating the guideline one. That's why we got this problem. So we are decomposing the relation into two relations. So that's about the third normal form. And we have one more definitions for third normal form. We'll discuss that one later. General definitions for second normal form and third normal form. So whatever the definitions that we have discussed so far considers only primary key. So whatever the following definitions that I'm going to give are more general definitions that take into the relations with multiple candidate keys. So the previous definition won't consider the multiple candidate keys. Okay, now in case if we have a candidate keys, for example, in lots relation, I'm going to explain the lots relation. This is one primary key and these two set can also be made as primary key. We have a candidate keys. In that time, the definition varies little bit here. A relation schema R is in second normal form if every non-prime attribute is fully functionally dependent on every key of R. That means it may be fully functionally dependent on candidate key also. There is no change in the definition. Now we go to the third normal form general definition. You all know what is the meaning of super key of a relations. So that provides a uniqueness constant. A set of attributes S of R contains a key of R. Super key we all know and we have discussed many times. Now we have a general definition of third normal form. A relation is in third normal form whenever for a functional dependency X determines A, either X is super key or A is prime attribute. Either X is super key or A is prime attribute. In the previous case, if you can see, We have department number determines DMGRSSN, that is X determines A. Either X is super key, department number is not a super key, and A is not a prime attribute. DMGRSSN is not a prime attribute. So obviously it is transitive dependency, and also this definition holds good. In order to explain this definition, let me consider one more relation to explain this one. If we have a functional dependency X determines A, either X should be a super key and then A should be a prime attribute, then we can say that the relation is in third normal form. Now consider the lots relation. This lots relation is used for storing the property details. Property details, here the author has actually given the details with respect to the Western countries. Property ID means the property information. Let's say, for example, I'll take property ID 1, county name, that is nothing but a state name. I'll take Illinois. Lot number I'll take 1-1, and then the area. So I'll take 1800 square feet. Price some $1,000. Tax rate 10% or 5%. Okay, property ID 2, Illinois. Let me fill the data. 1-2. This is 1200 square feet. Price is 1K again. Tax rate is 5% something. Property ID 3. This is California state. County is nothing but state. California 1-1,000. So here property cost is little bit more, 2K, and tax rate 10%. 3 California, I cannot write 3, 4. 1-2, 800 square feet, 1.5K, tax rate 10%. Now, with this data set, I can say that property ID is unique. I can make it as primary key. If I know property ID, I can tell rest of the details. If I say property ID 3, then I can determine it belongs to California County, and the lot number is 1-1, and area is 1,000 square feet, and the property cost is $2,000, and tax rate 10%. And if I don't know the lot number alone, it is not possible to determine the rest of the details. 1-1, I cannot say that it belongs to Illinois or California. I don't know. So county name along with the lot number can determine rest of the attributes. Now this is one primary key attribute and this is one attribute. So there are two candidate keys. Any one of the candidate key can be selected as primary key attribute. County name along with the lot numbers, I can determine rest of the attributes. That means lot numbers are unique within the county and property IDs are unique across the counties. Unique across the counties. And we have functional dependencies. Property ID determines rest of the attributes. That is obvious functional dependency. FD1 and FD2. We have yes, here composite primary key is there. Left hand side contains more than one attribute. We have to check for second normal form also. County name and lot number determines property ID, area, price, and tax rate. FD3, if I know the county name, I can determine the tax rate. We all know that it's standard fixed. For Illinois, it is 5%, and for California, it is 10%. If I know the county name, I can determine tax rate. And the price is totally dependent on how much area it is. It is 1800 square feet or 1200 square feet, and area determines price. So these are the four functional dependencies that exist. Okay. Now we check whether this relation is in second normal form and third normal form or not. So what the diagram A gives, the lots relation schema and its functional dependencies FD1 through FD4. Second one B, decomposing the lots relation into 2NF relation, that is lots 1 and 2. Now we check for partial dependency. Of course, we do have partial dependency here. Can you tell me like which is partial dependency? County name FD3 violates second normal form here. County name determines tax rate. So lot number is not at all required here, but it is a primary key, sorry, candidate key. Lot number is not required. So now I can say that tax rate is partially dependent on candidate key. So decompose the relations into two parts. One that violates the second normal form. So here we are not losing any functional dependency. FD3 is moved to this side, and FD1, FD2 and FD4 will be retained as it is. There is no loss of functional dependencies. Lots 1 and lots 2. This is the solution for second normal form. Now I need to check whether lots 1 is in third normal form or not. First check it is in second normal form. Yes, obviously lots 1 is in second normal form and lots 2 is also in second normal form and first normal form. We have to check for third normal form. What is the definition of third normal form? If we have a functional dependency x determines a, then the first condition is either x should be a super key or a should be a prime attribute. A should be a prime attribute. Now we'll check it. X is a super key, that is property ID. X is a super key, that is property ID. And now county name and lot number together determines property ID, area and price. That is super key also, county name and lot number. Now consider FD4. FD4 violates third normal form. FD4 violates third normal form because area is not a super key. Area is not a super key and price is not a prime attribute. You all know what is the definition of prime attribute. Area is not also a super key and price is also not a prime attribute. So the relation, sorry, FD4 violates third normal form and lots 1 is not in third normal form. So we decompose lots into two relations, that is lots 1A and 1B. FD1 and FD2 will be retained as it is, and FD4 we are moving it here. Lots 1B. Area determines price. Make area as the primary key. Now you can see the overall diagram here. D, summary of normalization of lots relation. Lots has broken down into 1 and 2 after 2n of normalization, and then lots 1 is broken down into two schemas, two relation schemas, that is 1A and 1B after 2n of normalizations. So that's about the general definition by considering the candidate keys. Next we have BCNF. BCNF is stricter than third normal form. A relation, we can say that a relation schema is in third normal form and it may not be there in bicycode normal form, and it is stricter than third normal form. We generally say it as stricter than third normal form. The definition says that whenever we have a functional dependency, X determines A in a relation schema R, then we discuss two conditions. Either X should be a super key and A should be a prime attribute in the case of third normal form. In the BCNF, the second condition is absent. A is a prime attribute is absent. If we have a functional dependency, X determines A in relation schema, then X should be a super key. The second condition is absent. That is given here. Basic code normal form disallows condition B. Now that is the only difference between the definition of second normal form, sorry, third normal form and the basic code normal form. We don't have the second condition. Now we check one more example we'll take. Say same lots 1 year relation, but we are adding one functional dependency over here. Assume that the property IDs are from only two counties, maybe California and Illinois. And we have a condition that starting from 0.1 acres, I'm talking in acres, to 1 acre means that area belongs to California. And in Illinois, we have only the property starting from area 1.1 to 2. Now I can have an additional functional dependency that area of a land determines county name. Obviously, if I say 1.6, which area it belongs to? It belongs to Illinois. If I say 0.9, to which area it belongs to? It belongs to California. If I say 1, it belongs to California. If I say 2.2, it belongs to Illinois. 1.8, it belongs to Illinois. So now we have an additional functional dependency that area determines county name. Now check lots 1A is in third normal form or not. Yes, obviously FD1 satisfies third normal form. FD2 also satisfies third normal form. Check for FD5. Area determines county name. X determines A. X is not a super key. Area is not a super key, or that's not a primary key. What about A? A is a prime attribute. So that means lots 1A is in third normal form, but it is not in BCNF. So BCNF definition says that for any functional dependency, X determines A, X should be a super key. Here, area is not a super key. Decompose the relation into two parts. That while FD5 violates BCNF, we are decomposing right now. So property ID, area determines, property ID determines area and lot number. This is one functional dependency. Area determines county name. So we are losing FD2 here. We are losing FD2 here. There is a loss of functional dependency here. Area determines county name. Lots 1A and 1. This is the general case. You can see here a relation that R is in third normal form but not in BCNF. See, A, B, C. A and B are the candidate keys, primary keys. So C determines B. It's in third normal form, but C is not a super key. So relation is not in third norm BCNF. So we have to decompose it. So this is bicycle normal form. I have two more examples to explain the bicycle normal form. You can consider the relation here: student, course, and instructor. Student name is there, course name is there, and instructor name is there. Student and course determine instructor. Student and course. Narayan and database means, so instructor for Narayan and for database course is Mark. Student and course determine instructor. So make this as composite primary key here. FD2 instructor determines course. Instructor determines course. Like this, instructor determines course and student and course determines instructor. Check whether it is in BCNF. No, instructor is not a super key. See, it is something like this. INS determines course. INS is not a super key, so this is not in BCNF, right? Student and course is a candidate key for this relation, and the dependency shown or figure, whatever the figure that I have shown. The relation is in third normal form, but not in BCNF. So after decomposing, it can be decomposed into student instructor, student course, course instructor, and course student, instructor course, and instructor students. So all these three decompositions, we are going to lose the FD1. We have to settle down after sacrificing functional dependency preservation. So here we should not have to sacrifice non-additivity property after decomposition. So out of all these three decompositions, third decomposition will not generate spurious tuples, unwanted tuples. If we join two relations, instructor course and instructor and student, by using natural join operations, there is no generation of spurious tuples. And hence, we can consider third decomposition as a solution. We have one more example here with respect to BCNF. Let's say ABCD is the attributes in schema. Let's call it as R. I have A determines B, C, and D. BC determines A and D. D determines B. You can see over here, keys are A primary key and BC it may be a candidate key. So all these things are called as super keys or prime attributes. A, B, C are prime attributes. A is a super key. First condition is okay. Sorry, first functional dependency is okay. BC determines AD, that is also okay. BC is a key. But D determines B. D is not a key attribute. Correct, no? D is not a super key. D determines B. A relation R is in third normal form, but not in BCNF because D is not a super key. Okay, D is not a key. Hence, we can break our relationship into two tables. That is R1 ADC. That is ADC. A determines D and C. You can write down, and that is R1. And R2, D determines B. So table is divided into two tables, one with ADC and while other with D and B. Okay, that's it. We are losing any functional dependencies here? Yes. So that's about functional dependency. Thank you. In the next class, we'll discuss about multi-valued dependencies.